On this week's Eagle News, we have wrestling coach Mr. Bowman talking about the meaning of family and the importance of being there for those around you.
We'll also be hearing from members of our girls swim and dive team on their season and the impact swim and dive has had on their lives.
And be sure to stick around for some more important announcements.
But before we get started, let's get a sports update with this week's episode of Crunch Time. Sending it off to you, Kellen and Logan.
This week's edition of Crunch Time, I'm Kellen Stevens.
I'm Logan Long.
This week we talk about the MLB lockout
NASCAR's next-gen testing.
and our picks for the NFL awards. First, I'll talk about the MLB lockout, which the MLB's Players Association and the MLB owners met last week, but made no ground and might have even gone further than they started. It seems like a delay of the season is almost imminent unless something changes almost immediately. It's been going on since, I believe, December 1st and does not show any signs of slowing up. Next, NASCAR started testing their new cars recently, and what are you thinking about what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I really like it. They've been doing a lot of tests at Daytona, and they've been doing some good pack racing. I like the good overtaking. They're getting good drafts. I'm really liking what I see.
I thought it was really cool to see Dale Jr. take over Kyle Larson's car while he prepared for the Chili Bowl Nationals. And, I mean, while it's not in a exact race, it's testing, and it was cool to see him get back into NASCAR.
Yeah, it's always good when a Earnhardt family member, big name, comes in and they do something like this for the sport.
And there's been a lot of cool paint schemes revealed this week. Do you have any favorites?
I really liked what Alex Bowman did with his 48 Ally. It looked pretty good.
A lot of people were kind of controversial, like having controversial opinions on Chase Elliott's car. I thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, I thought it looked good. It's the classic Napa car.
You can't really change
Yeah.
it, but there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
What are we going to pick for our NFL awards?
All right, so looking at the odds right here, the NFL MVP favorite is Aaron Rodgers. He's at a minus 400 betting odds with Tom Brady trailing behind him plus 500.
So, Logan, who are you picking for MVP?
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers in this one. I mean, he's led the Packers to the best record in the NFL, #1 seed. Brady, he had it going for him, but he lost it in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he definitely sold himself out at the end with a couple of interesting losses. I have Rodgers as well just because he's had a great year, especially with all the turmoil with him and the Packers in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Going out and winning the MVP, maybe he stays in Green Bay.
I mean, it'll be great to see him win back-to-back MVPs. That's how it pans out. Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp is up. He's minus 110. Jonathan Taylor is plus 110.
Who do you have for this one?
I got Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's a Triple Crown winner, meaning that he led the league in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. Very impressive. I mean, he's just overall been great, very consistent.
I don't think you can go wrong here, but I'm picking Jonathan Taylor. Just the season he had in his second year in the NFL, 20 touchdowns. It's just crazy what he did. The Colts are a much better team because of him, and he honestly carried that team all year.
Very impressive season from both of them. And Jonathan Taylor almost got into the playoffs. They were just short. Would have been great to
That's
see him
Carson
there.
Wentz.
Yeah, it really is. Defensive Player of the Year up next. T.J. Watt is up plus 40 with Aaron Donald trailing. He's at plus 700. Who do you got here?
It's hard to pick against Aaron Donald, but this time I'm going to do it. T.J. Watt tied the single-season sack record with 22.5. While it was in a 17-game season, opposed to the 16 that Strahan had it in, T.J. Watt missed games and was hurt in some others. So I think this is a crazy, impressive accomplishment, and I'm really excited to see him win another Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, like you said, he's got the little asterisk next to it. Still very impressive to get that many sacks. And Aaron Donald is incredible, but T.J. Watt just one-upped him this year.
I mean, both of them are absolute game changers. You can't really go wrong, but I think this year it's T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald has it almost every other year since he came in the league, but I mean, T.J. Watt, you can't pick against him.
Rookie of the Year, we're looking at Jamar Chase is at minus 200, and Mac Jones is at a plus 200. What do you got here?
I got Jamar Chase. Seeing him kill us in, I believe it was week 17, it was just all I needed to see. He was absolutely insane this year. For a rookie wide receiver to do that with a second-year quarterback, it's crazy. That connection they have, it's going to go on for a long time.
It's very impressive. And Mac Jones, I mean, he was very solid over the year, but he just hasn't been.
I don't think he had the wow factor that Jamar Chase had.
No, he did not. Jamar Chase is just such a high flyer. So good.
Thank you for watching this week's edition of Crunch Time.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Thank you, Kellen and Logan, for this week's Crunch Time episode. I'm looking forward to the NFL Awards on February 10th to just see how accurate those predictions are.
Good morning, GVHS, and welcome back to this week's episode of Eagle News.
We're your host. I'm Hayden Hake.
And I'm Chloe Kilday.
Getting into some of this week's national news, COVID-19 hospitalizations have dropped below 100,000, which is a 38% drop from only a few weeks ago. While this is promising, the impact coronavirus continues to have on society is far from over.
The Winter Olympics is currently taking place in Beijing, China. The U.S. is currently ranked in 6th place with 4 gold medals, 5 silver, and 1 bronze medal. The Olympics are taking place until Sunday, February 20th, and it can be viewed on NBC.
Now for some important stories here at GVHS. We have senior Sheldon interviewing Coach Bowman on the importance of family and uniting together as one during difficult situations.
Today we are here with Coach Bowman. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
All right, today we just got a few questions for you. The first question is going to be, what does the word family mean to you?
Man, family, honestly, family means that no matter what, you're going to stick together. You're doing things that, you're doing the right thing all the time because you know that you want to be better for your family. Honestly, it's something that's guided our wrestling team, and I like to call it the wrestling family for a long time. And it's something that really brings us together. You know, we always say, if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for your family. And it's just something that shows others, you know, and even ourselves that, you know, it's not just us. It's a little bit bigger than just the one person.
Mm-hmm. How has wrestling made you guys a family?
Man, and this is the other thing I always tell the guys is that there's nothing better than suffering together, you know, and that's what's going to bring you together. That's what's going to bring you closer. You know, when you're in the practice room and you're trying to hit that last sprint, you know, and you're trying to make it in 8 seconds, who's there that's going to be there to support you and push you and make you be better? You know, the family. And so that's definitely the part that makes us better. And on the flip side, you know, whenever we have a tough loss or, you know, we make a mistake, the family is there to always be supportive, you know, no matter what.
All right, and for the final question, how does your wrestling family help you personally get through unexpected life situations?
Yeah, man, you're referring to, I think, what happened this past week or, you know, January 1st. We lost Trent Starr, you know, and it was a shock. And it was one of those things where we just kind of had to unite together and grieve. And the thing is that we all grieve in our own way. So it was, I don't want to say it was interesting, but it was definitely something to see the guys come together and grieve in their own way. You know, some people were really mad, and so having to talk through that and having your family there, your wrestling family there, to be able to listen, I think really helped the guys through some of it. Of course, we're not done grieving. Grief takes a while, you know, and often it doesn't go away. So, you know, I told them that the wrestling family is always there to help them, and we'll never break apart. You know, once a family member, always a family member.
Thank you, Coach Bowman, for that impactful message, and congrats to our wrestling team on a successful season.
Next up, we'll be hearing from some members of our girls swim and dive team on how their season's been going so far and how swim and dive has influenced their lives.
Here's sophomore correspondents Lexi Gonzalez and Charli Sharpenkamp with this story.
Hey Grand Valley,
I'm Lexi Gonzalez,
I'm Charli Sharpenkamp.
and today we're going to be interviewing some of our swimmers and divers on the girls' team.
Join us.
My name is Jenny. I'm a senior here, and I swim the 500 and the 200 medley. I swim breast in the 200 medley. My highlight of my season would probably be swimming with my sister. Tonight at the meet, I'm going to be swimming the 200 IM, the 200 medley, and 2 relays.
Hi, my name's Italia. I'm a freshman and I've been diving since November. I just started this year. Tonight I'm doing a front double, back double, a reverse flip, inward dive and an inward flip, and a 2.5 twister. And my highlight of my season was probably this weekend when I got to compete varsity and do 11 dives for the first time and hang out with all of my team.
Hi, I'm Ella Boyle. I'm a senior. I've been swimming since my freshman year. The highlight of my season was the Pirate Invite last weekend, and tonight I'm swimming the 50 free, the 100 free, and the 2 relays.
This month, we've been celebrating Black History Month. We caught up with a few of our own teachers and students, and we get to hear about how Black history is being implemented into our classrooms.
So one thing that I've been doing to honor Black history in my classroom is having my students be really reflective about how our content is connected to our historical understanding and how Black leaders have really positively impacted the progression of our country and the changes that we see. This is especially true in my AP Lang class, as we're in a unit right now where we're exploring politics and our justice system. What changes have we seen throughout our political structure and our justice system that has really recognized the racial biases that have occurred, past and present, and how we have seen changes made because these amazing men and women have brought light to how we want to have equality in these systems and how that's best for society.
How we're going to implement Black History Month in my classroom is we are going to create presentations over someone that has inspired them, whether that is a Black female or male. I think that that is super important because anyone should be recognized, and no matter if race, gender, or whatever. So I think anyone should be recognized in that matter, and we will also be doing a Kahoot.
In my civics class, we're going to be discussing the civil rights movement and a lot of major Supreme Court cases that have progressed a lot of civil rights movements for people in America. So we're studying the judicial branch right now, so that'll come up a lot.
David Goggins has impacted me a lot. He made me change my whole mentality. When I first heard him, I just heard a motivational speech on YouTube, and he was like, he went through Hell Week like 3 times, and nobody's ever done that. And he just made me change my mentality about life, on how like your brain's always telling you to quit and not go, past your limits. But he just taught me on how you need to exceed the limits and keep pushing yourself.
I picked Tupac because I think he's a good music artist and a lot of people look up to him. He impacted a lot of people, and I think that that's important.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is an astrophysicist, which means he has physics and he applies that to space. And he inspired me by saying that I want to also go down that same path. And he's taught me about the universe around us and how small we really are, which makes you appreciate the more important things in life.
Ella Fitzgerald was a jazz singer who sung in a lot of clubs during the early 1900s. She was a person of color singing for people who were white, and a lot of people did not like that, and I think that's really empowering, especially in Missouri where there's not a lot of people of color compared to like the South, which is really cool, and it inspired my love of music. Like, I'm in the jazz band right now, and that's really fun.
I chose Lauryn Hill because she really makes a movement for people who have been sexually assaulted or raped in her songs. And she kind of just has like this kind of memories of what happened to her as she was young, and how she sings about them and embraces how it's okay if you've been sexually assaulted and to talk about it. And how we have issues in Kansas City, obviously, where we've had our own sexual assault issues, and how she just speaks about them.
Emmanuel Acho, former NFL player, commentator on ESPN, accomplished author, challenged my way of thinking on culture and race, and has impacted the Green Valley high school culture for that.
I picked Maya Angelou, a poet, because she was really inspiring to me as a kid, because I used to read a lot of her poetry, and it was just showing how strong she was and all the things that she went through.
Thank you for that impactful video. Make sure to follow us on all of our social medias at GVHS Eagle Media.
And be sure to tune in next week for some more Eagle news. Have a great day, Eagles.